Hello friends around the world. This is Shaggy Yusuf Ali, and I'm coming to you from downtown Los Angeles. And our show is just one man's opinion. We'll be coming to you every week, and sometimes we'll follow up on a topic we talked about the last time, or we will go to something new. But it's going to be informational, and it's going to be true. Today's topic, though, is about civil rights. And I call this topic civil rights or bogus rights. Now I say this because the civil rights struggle in America can only be resolved in the world court, in the American court system. We know that the American court system has had ample opportunities to lay down laws that will cause America to enforce those rights. After all, they say they're the interpreters of the law. And if you're going to interpret it, you know what they say, you're supposed to enforce that law. And most of the civil rights laws in America, which were constructed for disadvantaged people, they're really for black people only. There was no talk about civil rights until we were freed from slavery. Then comes civil rights for quasi-citizens. Now, if we take our problem to the American court system, we know it's not going to be resolved. To resolve the problem means bringing equality to the table. And that's a term that it's kind of like a bad news term, equality. Because America, to be an American, it means you're superior. You're not equal. Nobody's equal to you. That's the thinking behind the word American. Now, the only way black people are going to get their problem solved, we're going to have to take it to the world court. And the world court is there for criminals. If anybody tell me that America is not a criminal nation in respect to human rights, then they're either blind or they're just another slave. And I can't pass the word on to a slave because slaves don't understand. In the world court, we can talk about our human rights. That's why I say civil rights are bogus rights. Because civil rights are supposed to be backed up by enforcement. In other words, every right on the book that's being violated against us is supposed to be addressed by the Attorney General of the United States. I haven't heard a peep out of it. The President of the United States, haven't heard a peep out of it. To me, that's being in collusion with those who are trying to hold back my civil rights. So no longer is that even a word to discuss civil rights. Those are white rights. Those are American rights. They give them to you, they can take them away. But taking them away would be a message to the world that this is not a humane country. So what do? They just don't enforce it. Simple. In the world court, we can demand compensation. We can demand reparations for economic injustice, social injustice, financial, academic. In other words, what I'm saying that's being withheld from us is a form of genocide. It's a quiet form of genocide, but it's still the same thing. Anytime we are the last to get hired, that's kind of like genocide under color of authority. In other words, the government is behind the black man's inability to do this and do that. But they want us to think that they're for us, that they're looking out for us like little children, which we aren't. We're grown. We had 400 years to grow up. We ain't grown now. We never will grow up. But what I'm talking about now is crimes against black men in this country. We're being kidnapped off the streets of America and put in jail 48 to 72 hours, knowing they have no case, and then let us out. That's kidnapping. That's a crime. That's a war crime. And the United States is guilty of every war crime that ever been committed by any country on this earth. And they're standing around, got everybody afraid around the world to even challenge it. Well, they say, well, why should we challenge it? We're not the one it's being done to. But friends around the world, even in your government, in your country, the same thing is being done to you. Your human rights are being stepped on. But the thing I'm talking about is that our human rights, the black man's human rights, are not even being addressed. Now, that was talked a long time ago about taking it to the United Nations. Well, you got everybody up there sitting around looking at each other, suspicious of each other, hate each other. How in the hell is that united? That's about the most disunited international organization on the face of this earth, so we can't go there. Because if we do go there, we're going to ask for reparations from them. See, we forget. Reparations got to come from a lot of people. Belgium, Spain, Portugal, the Middle East, Africa, France, Germany, England, the United States. We added all in, because let me tell you something. If Americans say we're going to pay reparations, they're going to deduct every affirmative action gift they ever put down, which means you have enough left to buy a pair of socks. But when we go at everybody and charge all of them with injustices against the black man going back 400 years, you owe us. That oil money coming out of the Middle East, oh, they took blacks into slavery there too. Iran owes, Iraq owes, Saudi Arabia owes. Oh, they Muslim countries, but they got to apologize for putting me in slavery. So everybody owe me an apology, everybody owes reparations. Until we get it, we need to quit talking about civil rights. This thing is beyond the American borders. This is a worldwide issue because we're everywhere. But the only place in a foreign country that we're being mistreated is right in America. You can go to England, nobody calls you a nigger. You go to France, Germany, nobody calls you a nigger. They see you as a black man. But when you come from America, they figure you think you're a nigger. So they wonder why you do that. Well, when you're called a minority, which says you're basically a citizen nobody, you pick up on a word that says you are nobody. That's why we call each other nigger all the time. Malicious, malice in our hearts against each other, using one word, we don't see the psychological effect. However, getting back to what we need to do to take this thing to the world court, then we're going to show the world. We ain't niggas a minority. We are supposed to be citizens of a country that's taking our rights from us, our human rights. We can't get a job. But they tell young people, why don't you get 2 jobs? Hell, how can I get 2 jobs when I can't get 1? That's employment genocide. I can't take care of my family. I can't take care of my children. So when I resort to something else, they call me a criminal. Well, you made me a criminal because you withheld everything that I'm supposed to have to take care of my family, my community, as a man. And that's another thing. We brothers need to take back our community. They put our community in the hands of men and women who don't give a damn about us. The preachers, the civil rights leaders, the so-called senators, Congress people. But that's most of what black folks are in the Congress. But they don't want you in the Senate. If black men get in the Senate, he might challenge with the white status with his saying. Say, no, it don't go that way against my people. So they put somebody there that's quiet, white-oriented in his mind, so he ain't gonna fight for nothing. He just sitting his ass up there and sitting. Well, we're gonna have to neutralize some of these people. And when I say neutralization, I'm not talking about assassination, because that's what the CIA, that's the security agent, those are the words they use, neutralization. What I'm talking about is political neutralizing. We're gonna have to get these clowns out of office because they're selling us out. And your country also. Around the world, your government's selling you out too. So we're all friends of each other. Now, my time is running short, but next week we're gonna expand on the topic, and I'm wishing you peace until next time. This has just been one man's opinion. Now, what's yours?